Right, shortcut, welcome back. It's time to go through the Maelstrom. Build on a stone. Minfilia has a final favour to ask of you. Yeah, it's weird that patch 2.2 starts with a final favour. But that's just the way it worked. Let us set aside the matter of the Ascians until after we've completed our move to the Rising Stones. There is but one final favour I would ask of you before I depart. I believe I mentioned before that my father was a member of the Alamegan Resistance. The truth, however, is more complicated than that. As far as the Empire knew, he was their spy. He maintained the deception for nigh half a decade, furnishing the Resistance with vital Imperial secrets while feeding his paymasters subtly conceived misinformation, so he was a double agent. When he died some 15 years ago, my father left behind his journal, which I have closely guarded ever since. It contains every shred of information he and his agents could steal on what they believe to be the single greatest threat to Eorzea, the Primals. Its wisdom has guided me through the years, though there is much within I still do not understand. It is my hope that Urianger will fare better. Tell him to treat it with care. It is all I have left of my father. So we're going to go and deliver this pretty key item, at least, you know, key in terms of key to a story. Is it actually a key? Oh, it is actually a key item as well. The legacy of Minfilia's father, who perished in the parade incident of 1562 when a Gubu broke free of its magical fetters and ran through the streets of Uldar, contains a wealth of stolen information, imperial research on the Primals, as well as other information which has yet to be deciphered. And as I've said before, that parade was in the 1.0 Thanalan intro. I thought thee departed. To what end dost thou linger? Ah, the father's final bequest, the daughter's lifelong labour. It is no small thing to surrender such a cherished memento. Well can I imagine the antecedent's pain. Upon mine honour, I swear to spare no effort in the study of these materials, lest my lady's sacrifice be in vain. Demajen, this is Minfilia. I'm in the next door room. Forgive me, but I could wait no longer. I've departed for the... Oh, she's buggered off. If you've yet to... Once you have given the journal to Urianger, I bid you come to the 7th heaven in Revenant's Toll. Tataru will be there to show you inside our new headquarters. Assuming you've already attuned to it, you may wish to make use of the new Aetheryte in Revenant's Toll. After all, it is right on our doorstep. My face. Urianger also has a quest. He will allow you to go and do Thorn March Extreme. We are not going to do Thorn March Extreme. Right, to Revenant's Toll. Okay. It's time. Doesn't that feel better? Yeah, we whilst we will be going back to Horizon at various points, mostly to speak to Urianger, this is now going to be our base of operations. This door, in fact. Welcome, welcome! This is your first time here, if I'm not mistaken. I think you're going to like our new home. Well, what are you waiting for? Go in and take a look. I'm waiting for you to finish talking so the door starts working. I think we get a little... No, we don't get a little cutscene here, but we do get the opportunity to have a look around. So there's Coulsonnet. His toes looking at the books in the corner. This door doesn't work and never works. Tancred's just standing around. Flamin's behind the bar. Hoary Boulder, Papalimo and Ida are exercising. There's a ton of stuff stocked away over here that never really gets touched. Training dummies. It's a cool enough looking place. And also, down here, and well, there's some random little shit there. Die off, I know. I'm really hard on him, aren't I? Really hard on him. But easy to so. And here, we have the new solar. Which got some. These are the representatives of the Adventurers Guild. We saw those in a cutscene a while back. Tupsamati is up there. It's got a little screen and a door here. Don't know where that goes to. Some random stuff knocking about. The main reason it was moved here is because Mordona became the hub for everything. I mean, I assume they got that plan because they must have had this planned a long time ago, but before 2.2 came out. But Horizon was a pretty rubbish place to get to, as they kind of acknowledged in 2.1 with the idea that they couldn't get an Aetheryte there and all that kind of stuff. This is a much easier place to get to, and as Tataru said, or as Manfilia said, the Aetheryte is literally on the doorstep. Gang's all here. Well, it is certainly spacious. Today marks a new beginning for the signs of the Seventh Dawn, for today we declare our independence. Today is our Independence Day. That's Independence Day. The first one, the good one, quote. We shall henceforth be beholden to no nation, but serve all of Eorzea's people proudly and openly. But this does not mean that we will sever our ties to the Eorzean alliance. On the contrary, the antecedent and I shall endeavour to strengthen them. Rest assured, however, that we shall not permit political considerations to influence our decisions. Our identity remains unchanged, as does our cause. We are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and our single purpose is to safeguard the future of Eorzea. Fist punching. For Eorzea. Woohoo! Yeah. A moment of your time, Demajen. I would speak of Elidibus. Pardon the intrusion, my lady, but the matter which bringeth me will admit no delay. Mine every attempt to contact the students of Baldessian hath been met with silence. No one will respond. How odd. Allow me to try. No response. Surely they wouldn't ignore us. They have never yet, my lady. I fear we must assume the worst. No, I will not believe it. An outpost, perhaps, but not their headquarters. Their wards are beyond circumvention. Had they come under attack, they would most certainly have raised the alarm. None could penetrate their sanctum unnoticed. But for those who lack the gift and the knowledge both, oh no. Contact their agents in the field at once. If anything has befallen the students of Baldessian, they may know of it. Though the thought of it pains me, until such time as we have evidence to the contrary, we can but assume the worst. Accordingly, we must needs seek another source of information on Elidibus. It is possible that others in the homeland are possessed of such knowledge. Be fairly warned, however, they are unlike to yield it unconditionally. Do what you must. Yet another unforeseen and unwelcome development. What could be next, I wonder? A visit from a crimson-clad Ascian, perhaps? Or Ochre? Or Puce? And which of our allies will then fall silent? For a time I thought we'd gained the upper hand. When you shattered the Crystal of Darkness and cast out La Hebrea, I dared to hope we'd find a way to rid ourselves of the Ascian menace. But I was wrong. He endures and may yet return. Upon that point I have no doubt that Elidibus spoke true. Yet there must be a way to destroy them utterly, a way to spare this world their unholy machinations. I dare not consider the alternative. There are forces at work we do not understand. I discern them all around in disturbances too great and too numerous to be dismissed as mere coincidence. Doubtless the Paragons are involved, but how and to what end is far from clear. I know not what will come, but I do know that we will rise and meet it as one. Ah, my stalwart hero, your face is a picture of resolve. I know that you will be ready when the time comes. With luck, however, that will not be for a while yet. Pray return to your private affairs with my blessing. Should something arise, you will be informed. Kryl, where are you? You may remember we had that conversation with Kryl ages ago. Your intercession was not foretold. You object? We question. Our plans are in motion. Your intentions unclear. They survived the seventh Ardour and are stronger now in the gift. Does that not intrigue you? No, it does not. Serve as you will, so too shall I. We labour not at cross purposes. The wisdom of his plan shall become apparent in time when the veil is lifted from their eyes, and at long last do they see. There we go, a realm awoken. Yeah, actually, I did wonder if that was actually the end to 2.1 and this wiki is wrong. Because generally speaking, they give you the achievement at the end of the patch cycle. Strange. Very, very strange. Right. Minfilia has a new assignment for you. Okay, this is our first look at Yugiri and the Domans, who are going to be coming into the storyline here. You'll notice we're only getting very small chunks of XP for these. But we are at least getting XP. You didn't used to get XP for level 50 quests, so... Truly there is no rest for the weary. Scarce had I begun to make myself at home when I received a request for assistance from Magina and Sons mineral concern. It would appear their storehouse in Horizon has been the target of a series of covert robberies. Minor as they seemed in isolation, occasional discrepancies in the manifest were long dismissed as clerical errors. It was only during the concern's annual audit that a pattern became apparent. Significant quantities of crystals, and only crystals, were missing. I need hardly tell you what that may imply. The brass blades charged with investigating the thefts believe that someone within the concern is selling the crystals for profit. Alas, they have as yet been unable to identify a likely suspect, and the concern's proprietors have grown frustrated by their lack of progress. Needless to say, I would not have agreed to intervene had the stolen goods been of mere monetary value. If there is even a possibility that the thief acts not out of self-interest but in service to a primal, we can ill afford to wait for the blades to realise their mistake. Pray, depart for Horizon at your earliest convenience. Rendezvous you with Y'shtola when you arrive. She and Thancred have already begun a preliminary investigation. I have every confidence that the three of you will get to the bottom of these thefts. I only hope our fears prove unfounded when you do. Yeah. Okay, so we are going back to Horizon now. It is true. But we're not going to be running back and forth, if I remember correctly. Ah, Demajen, your assistance is most welcome. I've already spoken at length with the brass blades of the Rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in conversation with Fupalupa. He is the officer charged with leading the investigation, and I would only be repeating that which he related to me. If anything eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours. We, of course, have met Fupalupa before, way back at the start. Demajen! What a pleasure to see you again. Y'shtola said to expect you. Terrible business, these thefts. We've yet to confirm the quantity of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... but never mind that. I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of a heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Allegan Sunway. Alas, my colleagues had no mounts with which to give chase. However, our scouts have reported seeing a cart of the same description bound for eastern Thanalan. This could be our thieves, don't you think? We must inform Y'shtola at once. A speeding carriage? That would seem a curious choice for thieves of such proven cunning. Yet the Amalja do have a foothold in eastern Thanalan. Thancred is already afield with a unit of brass blades. I shall instruct him to take up a position to the east of the beastman's encampment. Pray, join him there. Do 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 do. Foggy. I was wondering why everything was blurry. It's because of the fog filter. Right. Ah. You'll remember this place. We came here way back at like level 15 or something. Ah, Demajen, for once it is you who is fashionably late. We seized the errant carriage and its excitable coachman not long ago. In all my years I've never seen such a prodigious quantity of somnus. The blades were calling it one of the greatest... sadly not. The coachman had no hand in the crystal thefts. And judging by my survey of their encampment, neither did the Amalja. But let's discuss this in Y'shtola's presence, shall we? I'll see you back in Horizon. Yes, I'm afraid that there's a little bit of running around. Against all expectation, it would seem the Amalja are innocent of this particular spate of crimes. By all indication, they've yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during their last attempt to summon Ifrits. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals, and in such quantities. It cannot be that we're dealing with simple thieves. If their motive were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly, we're missing something. What do you think about what that might be? I shall inform Urianger of our progress, or lack thereof.
Now then. Tis I. The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
Oh, I've forgotten to turn the voice back up.
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to... Wherefore inquirest thou of her fairness? Oh, very well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's Toll. Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Ah, a mysterious boat has arrived with a mysterious passenger.
Far across the sea from the land of Demajen have we travelled. We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
Nobody on these docks. Let's put the voice back up. Okay, so that was Yugiri and her arrival at Vesper Bay. And the majority of this patch is going to be to do with stuff about Yugiri and the sea and the Sahagin, and to be honest, it's all over the place, this one. Thankfully wishes to discuss how to proceed. Any bright ideas? A solitary flash of insight? No? Well then, for want of a better suggestion, I say we try picking Fafalupa's brain again. Who knows? If we work together, we may yet find something of use nestled away within its... But possibly not. And what of the brass blades of the rose? Can you say for certain that none were involved? To be honest, I cannot. I've done my utmost to purge the corruption from our acts since Captain Baldwin was brought to justice. My thanks again, Demajen. But of those who remain, well, let's just say that there are many of those whose wants exceed their wealth. I'm assuming this dialogue is different if you started in another capital, because obviously the Captain Baldwin stuff was below the level 15 quest. I fear the presence of a traitor would go some way to explain how the thieves' activities escaped our notice for so long. It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded for Falupa. Indeed. If for reasons of security the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in Horizon to another location, their plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed. Ah, but such a shipment would surely be well guarded. Would thieves as wily as ours risk open confrontation? Mayhap not. But neither would the concern be eager to present them with such an obvious target. Nay, they might instead elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone Mikote miner travelling without escort so as not to attract undue attention. But But who? Ah, I see. Yes, the concern may well elect to do that. But to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way. Perhaps north of the bridge to Hammerley? Ah, fine spot for a rest. Would you not agree? You lie in wait to the north, and I shall do the same to the south. Ahem. Forgive me, my friends, but I have received new orders. I must inform my men at once. Setting the trap. Nod, nod, nod. Call me a cynic, but I'd be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender, so that you can prepare to offer them some encouragement. I am all about that kind of encouragement, and I'm surprisingly good at it. Get a nice nighttime view of the starry sky in Uldar. Right. Hold on. Ooh, I forgot to put that on. What, there's more? Oh, wow, he died quickly. Any more for any more? Stubborn to the last, as expected. You are unharmed. I like your outfit, Stella. A gang of seawolf thieves, and in Thanalan, no less. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Seawolves? All of them? Aye, and all with the same taste in facial tattoos. Blue, in case you were wondering. Thieves are a long way from home. Thancred, if you'd be so good as to attend to the outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make. To Horizon, then. Fuffalupo will want to hear about your meeting with the thieves. So, the sea wolves are obviously pirates from Lenosha. And they want crystals. Why would they want crystals? On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon. But we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks. Is that so? Then by your leave, I would very much like to have a word with the fellow in private. No, I'm afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he managed to subdue the unit of blades dispatched to detain him and made good his escape. For the love of... And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling the summoners we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise? No, but he was quite strong. A sea-wolf, the Minson born and raised, I believe. But do not worry, we will find him. You have my word on that. I see. Pray keep me apprised of any developments. Yes? She's standing next to me. Understood. I fear our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know, but one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? Self-aware. Nod. Yes, I do like the little self-aware bits. The Mother of Exiles. Thancred has information on your next assignment. The antecedent bid me tell you to make for Vesper Bay, where young Alphino awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident. I am not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphino has planned for you, I shall endeavour to track down our traitorous brass blade. When I do, you may rest assured that we will have our answers. So we're going to go and get involved in the commotion down at the docks with Yugiri and the Domans. Hello, Alphino. You are late. No matter, I know where our visitors are headed. From what I have been able to gather, this vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You are familiar with Doma, yes? In Othard? Well, like the rest of the nations of the eastern continent, it is ruled by the Garlean Empire. Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, I should be very interested to hear their tale, and, more importantly, what they know of the current state of affairs in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful. We would be fools not to pursue this opportunity, do you not think? Come with me to Uldar, Demajen, unless I am mistaken, and I am rarely mistaken. We will find the Domans bickering with the Sultan's Sworn on the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings? Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be being pursued by some. And if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do so enjoy your sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Uldar. Yes, I honestly think you are supposed to not like Alphino. Hi, Genlands. It matters not how many times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass. Pray understand, good sir, we have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness. Away with you! Darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again. You know not what you do. I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears. A loyal man with a cold heart. I know his kind well. I hope that you will find me more to your liking. Alphino Levier, at your service. A friend. Which I believe makes me very nearly unique in this part of the world at least. Few indeed are your allies in Uldar. Yet you'll need some if you wish to endear yourself to the wealthy and powerful. Pray, join me and my associates at the Quicksand. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there's anything we can do to help. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Ooh, fireworks. Pretty. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Actually going to hide the XP bar because it's basically of no real use to us at this point in time. Okay.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea from the nation of Doma, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doma was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doma was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doma is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
12 have mercy. And your people?
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors. Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so. I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Uldar are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Mayhap I was foolish to expect otherwise, but our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum, nor will we be the last.
Be that as it may, Uldar is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Uldar unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
Couple of interesting points from that. First of all, Alphino's an annoying git. Secondly, Doma having been raised. Yeah, you find out a lot more about that once you get to the kind of the Doma stretch of the Stormblood expansion. I don't know whether raised is the right word. I mean, raised is burned to the ground, and we don't technically see a whole lot of Doma. But we do go to Doma Castle, which is still standing at the time. The other thing, of course, as you probably noticed, this patch 2.2 is obviously a good chunk before Heavensward is released. And because it's before Heavensward released, it was before the ARR race was released. We knew that there was going to be a new race. We strongly suspected, because Yugiri looks like this, we strongly suspected that she was a member of this new race. But obviously, it's a little bit weird now for them to talk about how it's, you know, mistrustful and men want to fear what they don't understand, since, of course, we have been able to be ARR and have been in ARR all the way since the start. But yeah, so it's slightly weird. But you do need to remember that at this point in the lifetime of the game, we are, you know, we're 2.5 years ago or so now. So the ARR did not exist, and it's not until the ARR are announced that we actually finally see what Yugiri looks like. They were announced in a live letter, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I know a lot of people were hoping that Yugiri would be a Viera from Final Fantasy XII and Ivalice, and there's still the possibility actually that we might see Viera in kind of high res, high def FF14 style, because of course in Stormblood we're going to have the return to Ivalice 24-man raid, which I'm really looking forward to, because it's written by the guy that basically invented Ivalice and the kind of tactics and FF12 setting. But yeah, a lot of people were hoping that, you know, she'd have the big bunny ears and that they were flattened down. Does she have? Yeah, see, she's got the tail. She's got the same tail as me, actually, I think. Yeah. In fact, Yugiri might look a lot like me. Can't remember. But yeah, she's a Zayla, I think. ARR. So yeah, Alphino. Ugh. Anyway, if I may, madam, as I said earlier, we have been at sea for several moons, and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the heart to repeat the tales of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them, I think. Suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more than you have already offered so much, desperation compels me. Good madam, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, it would go a long way to lessen the suffering of my people. Let's see what Momodi can do. We haven't seen Momodi in ages. Hells! Why didn't you say so sooner, Demajen? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better day, to tell the truth. The wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the moor, see? But just one word they can't come. But just sent word they can't come, meaning I've got a boatload of foodstuffs and no one to feed. Best of all, they pay for the lot in advance. Ha! Go and call on Friduri and Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I said to ship the little prince's order to the Waking Sands. Only if they argue, just showing those letters. That should set them straight. Sapphire Avenue Exchange is where the market boards are. Poyo Royo there has got the corpse groom quest. I'm going to skip the cutscene for that. That will open us up. Tamtara hard, I think. I shall go and do all of those off stream just for the guild, not the dungeons, the quests. Nice moustache. She's in the business of feeding refugees now. I ain't normally one to question Mistress Momoda's judgment, but that doesn't seem wise to me. Well, not to speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man who can't earn a crust deserves to go hungry. Why, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard instructions. Well, you know, you shouldn't encourage her like this. They'll start to expect it, you mark my words. Yes, so these people who are doing okay... You'll notice that the storyline is a lot more multiple steps and talking. They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good. Now go and tell Lady Yagiri it's all in hand. I dared not hope for such magnanimity. Magnanimity. Much less expected. Mistress Momodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly. Lady Yagiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply. We have been granted an audience? Before the Sultana and the Syndicate both. We should return to the Royal Promenade at once. You have done much for us, Master Alfino. I swear we shall return the favour. Naught is owed, Lady Yagiri, for naught has been given. This small favour you fairly won with your words, and it is with your words that you must win the favour of the Syndicate. And I shall choose them with care. I don't know why she's sounding vaguely French. You will accompany us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and that nothing so unpalatable will require of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come, the Flame General awaits us on the Royal Promenade. Promenade? Promenade? Promenade. One of the two. Take your pick. Where am I going? Not that way. Yes, I'd actually forgotten how long this quest is. It's a biggie. You. Oh no, actually, Teleji Agileji is the nice one, isn't he? Anyway, that's not who I actually meant to click on. A pleasure, Demajen. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting. I can't do my northern accent. I've been away from the north for too long. Do I have to voice act this?
I, Yugiri of
No.
Doma, am honoured to meet you at last, Your Grace. To mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer. Alas, The circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Yugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Doma, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped confines of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the purge. It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Yugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
The law is the law.
Lord Lolorito?
Tell me, are you blind or willfully ignorant? Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees. They live hand to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees are prone to violence and criminal activity? You have all read the reports, I think. Without homes or employment, it is only a matter of time before men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Ul'dah. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domins Lady Yugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves. What were your words that day? Ah, yes. The law is the law. And so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo. Mayhap our wise and benevolent Sultana would be so good as to enlighten us as to which other of our laws should not be upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Uldar's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote. To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
They have them walk past the proposed refugees as well.
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited. Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace. And I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, Little Alamigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity. The monitorists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
Though we will have that at some point soon. So there we go. And we get, weirdly, we get some dye as options for completing that quest. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, pretty big cutscene there. But this is setting up things. And you'll notice that we are getting now the option of I-90 stuff. As you observed, Lolorito is not afraid to speak his mind, nor is he like to change it. Often have I wondered how a man so skilled at weighing the worth of things should be so incapable of seeing the value in people. Bah! I'll waste no more words on him. Not when the Domans are yet in need of aid. Everyone, follow me to the Hall of Flames. So there are still options. Whoop! Ugh. Hui! Does it make you feel a little bit like Link in Zelda? Just need some grass to cut. Anyway. Oh, those hats. The rise and fall of gentlemen as the Hindelbund unlock. To north. The syndicate has spoken, and I see no point in moving that the matter be considered. The monetarists have made their position clear. Agreed. Uldar is not an option. Nor are Limsa or Gridania, I judge, given the state of their internal affairs, which leaves our Doman friends confined to a ship. Gods, the thought of them huddled in an airless hole with no hope of better treatment. Would that I had more time to find an alternative, a place not bound by the concerns of the great nations. Minfilia! That is precisely what I wish to discuss. I understand the Syndicate's decision. I do. We all wish to preserve that which is ours, especially when we believe it to be under siege. But I cannot meekly accept this judgment, not while my people suffer. Would it be out of the question for the Sultanate to accept us for a limited time? A week, perhaps, or even just a few days? Excellent. I shall keep you informed. Lady Ugiri, I have a proposal, if you will hear it. Out with it, Master Alfino. The headquarters of my order, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, stands in a place called Revenant's Toll, an outpost of Mordona. Like most outposts, it is frequented by mercenaries and other men of action and lacks the comforts of more well-established settlements. However, the leaders of Revenant's Toll have been doing their utmost to change that. To that end, they have need of able-bodied individuals willing to work as frontier hands. Hard labour, lest you doubt, with nothing save food and shelter by way of reward. Terms not unlike those which you yourself propose, Lady Ugiri. If there were not her words said against our beloved Uldar, Revenant's Toll would offer certain advantages, the absence of unhelpful bureaucracy being the most obvious. If they can accommodate us all, we shall gladly accept. Master Alfino, once again I find myself in your debt. Pray do not thank me, my lady. The life your people go to is one of hard labour and few comforts, as I told you. And before that, there remains the matter of how they may safely be borne to Revenant's Toll, which will be no small feat considering the distance and their present condition. Mayhap the Uldan Adventurers Guild can be of assistance. Look for me there anon. Lady Ugiri, if you and your people would accompany me, we will discuss what aid the immortal flames can provide. And that leaves me just standing like a muppet on my own. Woohoo! Right. How many company seals do I have? Enough for a promotion. I should probably go and get that done. Diddly, 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 diddly. We're not going to Lenosha for a while either. Doom, doom. Bum, 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 bum. We're concerned that the Doman refugees may find the journey to Revenant's Toll too much to bear. Too long have they been sequestered aboard their ship with insufficient supplies and scarce room enough to breathe, let alone stretch their legs. With that in mind, Mistress Memodius kindly offered to accommodate the Domans in such time as they are ready to set out for Mordona. Those healthy enough to travel will embark as soon as transportation has been secured, while those too weak to leave at once will be permitted to stay until they regain their strength. What news? Transportation remains our greatest obstacle. General, is there anything the Immortal Flames can do? I fear that exceeds our mandate. Were it a smaller number, mayhap it would go unnoticed, but the Syndicate will not bear the cost of escorting more than 200 Domans to Mordona. When government fails to act, the responsibility falls to us private citizens. I will engage the services of the 77 caravans on the Domain's behalf. Very well. We should begin contract negotiations at once. Your generosity is most welcome, my lord. After all that's befallen these good people, it's the least I can do. Come what may, you shall ever have a friend in Uldar, Lady Ugiri. And you in Revenant's Toll, my lord. Well, sounds like we all have work to do. Lady Ugiri, let's put our heads together and settle the details of our arrangement, shall we? Mistress Meredith is quite right. There is much to be done. Demajen, I'd like you to visit Gigian. Gigian, yes. The 77 caravans representative in Scorpion Crossing to ensure that everything goes according to plan. I can do that. Scorpion Crossing is out of... Yes. This way. Gate of the Sultana. I just realised I could have Ethernetted that. But that would involve having a brain. Do 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 do. Gigian. Welcome, madam, welcome. May I say what an honour and a privilege it is to serve you. Our finest carriages have been set aside for your use, and each will be driven by a highly experienced coachman. Save for one. Beg pardon? One all of them? Well, there was an incident, you see. Nothing bad, I hasten to add, and I had no choice but to discipline the fellow responsible. Alas, he proved unduly discouraged by this, and elected to leave our employ. A pity, really. He was so familiar with the route in question. Why, under different circumstances, it is very likely that I would have chosen him to oversee this very caravan. A thought occurs to me. You are an accomplished adventurer, are you not? Then maybe you could go to the Coffin and persuade the fellow in question to return? Needless to say, noble madam, I would never suggest such a thing were it not in your best interests. It's just that a venture of such importance would seem to me to demand the very best. Would you not agree? Right, before we go and do that, I'm just going to take a quick detour to Limsa. Because I want to go and get a promotion, and I want to go and unlock the hunt, because I've been meaning to do it for a while and I've completely forgotten. Because I suck. Wait, what? Huh. Can I not do that whilst we've still got the... No. Really? Okay, looks like we've got to go and do that first. Right, let's apply for promotion. Yes. Right, that's that. What do we need for another one? Right, Right, so we need to complete rank 1 in the hunting log for that, and in order to do that we need to do Halatali. Right, so airship landing. Ooh, this is new. I've not seen this cutscene before. Huh. Yeah, so that allows us to go into front lines, which is a large scale PvP type thingy-mabob. I've only ever done it once. PvP is not my thing. Right, now we should, in theory, now be able to access the hunt. Hopefully. Have I? Hold on. Is it this that's preventing us? Ugh, fine. Fine. This is not 2.2 related stuff. This is the game being a little bit crappy as to layering up its content. I can't even remember what this quest is actually for. It's not story anyway, so. Do. this opens up the this opens up the Kobold Beast Tribe stuff, if I remember correctly. Stuff and things. Right, so he will continue to talk to us and allow us to do Bistro Crest if we want to. We don't. I'm certainly not doing them on this character when I could be doing them on my main. Now, let's see. What now? What have I missed? Am I not high enough rank? Yeah, we're not high enough rank. God damn it. Fine. Right, in that case, I'm going to go and do some Grand Company Hunting Log, and I'm going to go and do some... Looks like I'm going to have to do a run a Halatali, actually. That's fine. I shan't do that on stream because that would be a bit of a waste. So, if you remember, we're arranging the coach, and we'll sort that out another time. But for now, this is now in 20 minutes anyway, and I've already screened for 2 or 3 hours today. So for now, I'm going to go and do some busy work, and I'll see you all lovely people later.